Hi, everyone, and welcome back to What the Fun English, the place where we learn real English through curious stories and fun conversations.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Emma.
And this is What the Fun English.
Today's episode of our series, Wait, What's Going On Here?, takes us to Russia, where mystery, power, and rumors meet.
Yeah, it's quite a story we're diving into.
Absolutely. We're looking at Grigori Rasputin, this really infamous figure from the early 20th century.
Right. And specifically how his influence and, well, his whole image might tell us something about power even today.
Exactly. The goal here is to kind of unpack the stories, figure out what was real, what wasn't, and maybe learn some English words about, personality and control along the way.
Okay, so let's start with who Rasputin actually was. Before all the drama, he was essentially a Russian monk and mystic.
A monk, what does that mean exactly?
Well, a monk is usually a man who lives a very religious life, often set apart from society, maybe in a place called a monastery.
Okay, so a religious man. But how did someone like that end up getting so close to the Russian Tsar Nicholas II, and especially Tsarina Alexandra? It seems like a huge leap.
It really was. It wasn't politics that got him in. It was something much more personal. Their son, Alexei, the heir to the throne, was very sick.
Right, he had hemophilia, didn't he? A blood condition.
Exactly. And they were desperate. Modern medicine couldn't really help much back then. Rasputin came along and claimed he had healing powers.
And the thing is, he seemed to actually help Alexei, or at least the Tsarina believed he did.
Precisely. Whether it was some kind of hypnotic effect, or just calming the boy and the mother, or pure luck, it worked in their eyes. And because of that, they trusted him deeply.
Wow. So that trust became his way in, his source of power.
You could say that. It was the foundation for his influence. He wasn't officially in government, but the Tsar and Tsarina started listening to his advice on, well, pretty much everything.
Like state matters during wartime.
Yeah, even things like military decisions and appointing ministers. All because they believed he was protecting their son. This gave him enormous informal influence.
Okay, so the healing was key. But people also talk about his personality, right? This idea of charisma.
Oh, definitely. Let's define charisma. Basically, charisma means having this special charm or magnetic quality that naturally makes people like you or be drawn to you.
And Rasputin had that.
Apparently, yes. Reports say he had this really intense stare. He didn't follow the usual court rules. He was kind of rough around the edges, but compelling. People were fascinated by him, even if they were also a bit scared.
So his influence wasn't just with the royals.
No, his charisma worked on others too. But it also made him controversial. And remember, influence is really the power to change what people think or do. He definitely had that.
But this led to problems, didn't it? Scandals.
Big time. His life in St. Petersburg became, let's say, less than monk-like. There were stories of drinking, parties, questionable company. It created this mysterious and scandalous image.
Which must have worried a lot of people in power?
Absolutely. Many people in the court and government already feared he had way too much influence. His behavior just gave them ammunition.
So his enemies couldn't attack him directly because the Tsarina protected him.
Right, so they attacked his reputation instead. They started spreading rumors.
What's a rumor exactly in this context?
A rumor is just a story or a piece of information that gets passed around, but it might not be true. It's like gossip, but often more damaging.
And what kind of rumors were spread about Rasputin?
All sorts. That he was controlling the Tsarina with magic, that he was secretly running the country, that he was immoral. Really dark stuff. They painted him as this evil puppet master.
Making him the scapegoat for everything going wrong, especially with the war.
Exactly. People often fear what they don't fully understand, and Rasputin was definitely hard to understand. The rumors turned him into this larger-than-life villain.
Which ultimately led to his death, right? And that story is pretty wild, too.
Oh, yeah. He famously survived several attempts on his life. Poisoned cakes, being shot. The stories are incredible.
He was finally killed in 1916, though.
Yes. But the way he died, surviving so much, almost made him seem, well, supernatural.
It turned him from a controversial figure into something else entirely.
Into a legend. And a legend is like a traditional story, maybe based on some real events, but often exaggerated or mixed with myth. It's not quite history, not quite fiction. Rasputin definitely became a legend.
Okay, let's pause there for a second. This seems like a good moment for a quick reminder.
Right. Don't forget to subscribe to What the Fun English and share this episode with your friends.
So we have this historical figure, Rasputin, whose influence came from perceived healing, charisma, and then his image got shaped by rumors until he became a legend. How does this connect to, say, modern Russia?
Well, the obvious comparison people sometimes make is with Vladimir Putin. Not that they're the same, of course, but there's a similarity in how important image and perceived power are.
Okay, let's define power.
Sure. Power is basically the ability to direct or influence how other people behave or how events unfold.
So Putin isn't a mystic monk. His power isn't based on healing claims.
No, definitely not. His image is built differently. It's more about control, strength, secrecy maybe. Think about the images we see Putin doing judo, riding horses, that sort of thing.
Projecting strength and control.
Exactly. It's a different kind of image management. Rasputin's influence came partly from his unpredictable, almost mystical aura. Putin seems much more calculated, projecting this image of unwavering control and national strength.
But there's a similarity in how both figures use their presence, their public persona, to exert influence, maybe even beyond their official roles.
I think that's a fair point. For both, their image seems designed to make them appear almost untouchable, maybe a bit mysterious. It's about shaping perception. With Rasputin, it was charisma and scandal. With Putin, it seems more about discipline and control.
So the lesson here, maybe, is that how leaders present themselves, their image, can be just as important as their actual policies. That influence can be built on perception.
It definitely shows how potent image can be. Both figures demonstrate in very different ways how influence and a carefully crafted or wildly rumored image can shape how people see a leader and, by extension, the nation. It can even create a kind of modern legend.
It really makes you think about the relationship between personality, power, and public perception.
Definitely. Charisma and power are complex things. They can achieve a lot, but they can also be, well, dangerous tools.
That's a really fascinating comparison. Okay, before we wrap up, let's quickly recap the key words we learned.
Good idea. We had monk, the religious man living apart.
Then charisma, that special charm.
Influence, the power to affect others.
Rumor, the story that might not be true.
Power, the ability to direct things.
And finally, legend, the story that's part real, part myth.
Got them all.
Okay, so here's something for you, our listeners, to think about. Do you think charisma is a gift or a danger?
Especially when it's combined with real power. That's worth considering.
Thanks for listening to What the Fun English Ate.
Keep your English bright and your curiosity alive.